John likes tech and lives in Indiana, you know. Kevin likes the Dodgers and talks on the radio. John plays games on Xbox and on his Nintendo, while Kevin runs around LA with his mustachio. It's the Lack of Genius podcast, in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus, that's why it's the Lack of Genius podcast. Yay! The Lack of Genius podcast. John, hello.
Hey, Kevin, how are you?
I'm great, man. We're one episode in, and we already have a theme song, Lack of Genius podcast.
Indeed.
As John said, I'm Kevin, and that's John. And this is our first time doing a podcast together. The basic idea is that John, I don't want to reveal too much about John. We'll all get to know each other. But John lives in Indiana, literally on a farm. I live in LA. Those are pretty different lifestyles, and that's kind of just the tip of the iceberg, right?
It is, yeah. I mean, it's not a working farm. It used to be a working farm, but
Okay.
there's fields around it.
Gotcha. Well, and so the idea being that, we have very different interests, very different hobbies, and each episode, one of us will be, I guess we'll call it the genius, a quote-unquote genius on a subject. The other will know basically nothing about that subject. And that's why we call it Lack of Genius, to show off just how little genius the other person has. We're like ridiculing one another basically all day.
Yeah, and sometimes we both might get ridiculed at the same time. Maybe we have a guest on that knows something that we don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because quite frankly, there's a lot I don't know, I'll be honest.
Yeah, same.
We thought a unique way to deliver just how much one person knows and how little the other person knows, Lack of Genius, we would make a quiz for each other every episode. And so let's say John was the genius. He would we'll probably do a 10-question quiz. I'll answer them live on the air and probably miss all of them is how it'll go. And what we decided to do today, John, you and I haven't really been in touch in the last, 10 plus years, right?
Yeah, I mean, this kind of dates us a little bit, but what year was it that you were at Manchester? Like 07?
2005,
06?
actually. 2005.
Oh, 05.
Yeah, small school in Indiana where John graduated from, correct?
Yep.
So I do know something about you. And I went there for one semester, and that's how we met. 2005, that was 16 years ago.
Yeah. And I know we've talked a little bit on Facebook here and there, but for the most part, we've not even had a phone conversation until this past week. Probably since 05.
Yeah,
so.
John randomly reached out to me. I was really appreciative of that, and we got to texting and said we should do a podcast because we are very different people. But at the same time, man, John, you got a big heart, dude, and I really love that and appreciate that, and I'm glad to be friends with you. So what we decided, all of this was brought up to say that for this first episode, since John and I don't really know each other that well, we're going to quiz each other about ourselves. Yeah. Which is it's a multi-purpose tool because we also give the audience, you listening, a chance to learn about us as well so we can all be friends and move forward together. And
when this episode comes out, and any episode in the future, you can take these quizzes as well at lackofgenius.com.
Lackofgenius.com, we already have a website. Yeah. John is helping me with all of this stuff, man. John is so good with tech stuff, as I'm sure you'll learn, and yeah, you'll be able to take the quiz beforehand, and then during the episode, you can see if you know more about the subject than us, really, is how it'll work.
Yeah.
So definitely looking to be interactive with you, and we're starting from scratch, starting from ground zero here. And what do you think, John? I think we should jump into the quiz. Just go right for it.
Yeah. You want to go first, or shall I?
Why don't you take my quiz first?
Okay.
How about
that? We can do that.
So John is he's looking at a screen right now. We can see each other, but you can't see us. He's looking at a screen going to lackofgenius.com. And there's already a quiz up there. Five questions about me and 5 about John, but we're going to start with my quiz.
And let's see here. I know the answer to your first one.
Yeah, number 1. I thought this might be an easy one for you. What is Kevin's middle name?
That's Jay.
Yeah, look at us with sound effects. Yes, Jay, as in Jay. And I was sort of testing John's memory. Do you remember the story behind that?
Sort of. I mean, I always, in my mind, whenever I see you, I just automatically think Kevin J.
Yep.
Because I know that your name was Kevin. I know your middle name was Jay. And for some reason, for some people, you went by Jay.
Yeah.
But with others, you did Kevin, and I knew Bo.
If this is confusing to anybody else, it's because it is. I was dating a girl that went to this school in Indiana. That's why I went there for the semester. She had a brother named Kevin, which is my first name. Didn't want to call me Kevin, so she called me Jay. And like John just said, some people called me Jay for that semester. Some people called me Kevin J. And so some people didn't even know Kevin was my first name. But John, great job. You're 1 for 1. Congratulations.
Hey.
Are you ready for question 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so question 2 says, how long has Kevin had his signature mustache? I know this is not a visual medium, but I have a curly mustache on my face. And the choices are 4 years, 7 years, 9 years, or since birth. What do you think, John?
Let's see here. I'm going to go with 4 years.
4 years. And do we lock that in?
I somehow accidentally hit the 7, and it won't let me undo the 7.
Okay, so he chose 7, but you think
accidentally.
Okay, but your answer is 4.
It is, yes.
Okay, and is that correct? Oh, that's the wrong button.
Is it the 7?
No, man, it's actually 9 years, which is crazy for me to say out loud. It's not since birth. I was not born with a mustache. 2012, and that was the day I started growing my mustache, and it's so getting close to 10 years.
Okay.
All right, so one out of 2 is not bad. We'll keep going here. Question number 3, John. Which TV competition show was Kevin a contestant on? Is it A, The Price is Right, B, Wipeout, C, Survivor, or D, Wheel of Fortune?
I'm trying to remember. I know it's not Survivor. No offense, but I'm not sure you would do well.
You're questioning my survival skills?
I'm not sure how well that California weather would treat you to an island out in the middle of the
I'd last a day and a half. Yeah. I'd be like, I'm hungry. I want some spaghetti. I'm out of here.
I vaguely remember something about Wipeout. And so that's what I'm going to go with.
That's what you're going to go with? You're locking it in?
That's what I'm going with.
Ah. There it is. You're right. Wipeout is the answer. I did that about 2013, however many years ago that is, and got eliminated in the first round. Survivor, by the way, is like one of my favorite shows of all time, so that's why I put that on there. But
no, I get that.
Yeah, I was on Wipeout. I was on an episode called "Win a Date with Jill." She was the sideline host, and please, I don't mean this in a sexist way, but I was on an episode with not just all men, but all really like young athletic men. And so I'm prefacing this as an excuse for why I didn't advance past the first round. There was so much athleticism, which is usually not what Wipeout does. Usually they want to see people crash and fall. So I finished I think you had to be in the top 10 or something, and I finished 12th. And it's one of my biggest disappointments in life. Good job, John. So far, you are a genius on Kevin. 2 out of 3, not bad.
Yeah. See if I can do 4 for 5.
Well, as the theme song said, if you were listening, Kevin talks on the radio, I believe was the line. So this question is, that's what I do for a living. So true or false? At the professional level, meaning not college or anything like that, at the professional level, Kevin has been on air at 4 different stations. True or false?
I think false. I want to say it's 3.
You got a 50-50 shot here. You're going with false?
Going with false.
Oh, it is 4. It is 4. And that's I'm on air at a station in LA right now. It plays classic hits. It's called K-Earth 101. Before that, I was on a top 40 station called Amp Radio in LA. And then I got one on-air shift at K-Rock here in Los Angeles filling in. So I guess it's a little bit of a trick question because I have been on air. And then
right.
the 4th station is it was a sister station down in San Diego that I would fill in on from time to time. So that's okay. The 4 under my belt.
Where I have one unprofessional station.
Yes, which we were both on that station, right?
Yep, WBKE.
WBKE, Manchester's The Buzz, Manchester's on-campus radio station.
No longer exists, sadly.
It's not even there anymore?
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
That's a bummer. Okay, man. Well, you got 2 out of 4, and we're going into the 5th question, so let's see how we do here. Which of the following countries has Kevin not been to? Which one of these countries have I not been to? A, Ecuador. B, Sri Lanka. C, South Africa. D, Nepal.
Oh, let's see here.
Which of the following countries have I not been to? Ecuador, Sri Lanka, South Africa, Nepal. One of those I have not been to.
I want to say South Africa.
You want to, and are you going to?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Sorry, dude. I have been to South Africa. College trip. Actually, like just after you and I, after my semester at Manchester, I went that January.
Okay.
Ecuador is actually the country that I haven't been to. It's a country I really want to go to. I've never been to South America, but a random trip in high school, I went to Sri Lanka, which is crazy to think about. And in Nepal, I went a few years back on a great little learning tour that I took with a nonprofit, New Community Project. Shout out to them.
Yep, I know of them.
Yeah.
I think my sister's gone with them.
Yeah.
On something.
Yes. Yeah, John and I have a connection that runs deep in the Church of the Brethren. Religion, obviously, I don't know how religious John is. I'm not super religious, but this church is a great community church, and there's a guy in it who started a nonprofit about raising, awareness for global issues, and he takes people on these tours of different countries to really learn and see firsthand where the help is needed, and that was my Nepal trip.
Yeah.
Newcommunityproject.org. Look at that. They just got a free pub from us.
Yeah, ran by David Radcliffe, who's a pretty good guy. So
really good guy.
Yeah.
Just like you are, John. Even though I guess we accurately proved that you don't know me that well right now, and that's a good thing.
No,
so
I don't.
We're gonna get to know you. Know me 2 out of 5. What percentage is that? I don't know. I'm terrible at math.
It's a 40%.
Okay, yeah. Let's call it that. All right, man. Well, I guess there's no time like the present. We get to find out just how much lack of genius I have in regards to you.
Yeah. Let me get it up. First question is, how many siblings do I have? 3, 4, 2, or 1?
I'm laughing because I literally have no idea. Like, this might have been something that we've talked about before. And it's like, look, I could be way off on this. I have a vague memory of a sister. I do have a memory of a sister, which would be hilarious if I say that and then we find out you have one brother. But I'm going to choose 1. I'm going to say you only have 1 sibling.
You're correct.
Yeah! Oh my gosh.
I have 1 sister.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Did I just remember something accurately?
Something I said a few minutes ago, yeah.
Did you mention a sister just a few minutes ago?
Yeah, having taken a new community project trip.
Oh,
or at least I think she has.
What? Oh my God. Okay, so I just bragged about getting that question right, and then I just made a complete fool of myself for not remembering something you said 2.5 minutes ago.
Okay, so the second question, if you want to get the full experience of it for the listeners, head on over to the lackofgenius.com website, and you can see the pictures that go along with this. But the question is, what do I have a tattoo of? My home state, which is a picture of Indiana with the 13 stars around a torch.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
I think it's 13 or 16.
I don't even know. Do you even know what those 16 stars are for?
I think we were like the 16th state to join the Union, and I think that's what the stars represent. A Norse rune, which is a bunch of lines in a circle.
It looks like a cool snowflake.
Yeah, it does look kind of like a cool snowflake. Marvin the Martian, or the Star Trek logo, which happens to be my
favorite show, and there's a Star Trek logo.
And actually, none of these pictures are of my tattoo. These are just ones I found on the internet.
That's what I was wondering. See, so I'm looking at the Star Trek one, and it's the little Star Trek logo that they use for the communication device. It's on a chest where that would be, and I'm not choosing it just yet. I might choose it, but that's why I love that one, because I'm envisioning right now you have this cool button-up shirt that's unbuttoned a little bit, and I can see a little of your chest, and I'm just like, God, I hope there's a Star Trek logo under there. In fact, I'm not even going to overthink this. As much as I'd love it to be Marvin the Martian or Indiana or the Norse rune, I'm going to go with Star Trek.
You sure?
I'm sure. I'm doing Star Trek.
You are incorrect.
Oh, man. He's showing it right now to me. I know this is... so he's rolling up his sleeve. And
it's the Norse rune.
Norse rune, and it looks really good. It's on his upper, what is that, your right arm?
Yep.
And it looks like a cool snowflake. It also reminds me a little bit of, I don't know if you watched Lost, but the Dharma Initiative logo. Anyways, that's just what's running through my head. Tell me about that tattoo.
It's called the Aegis Halmir, if I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Okay.
It's a rune of protection.
God, that's beautiful. I love it, John. That's great. Okay, well, I'm 1 for 2. and I'm gonna forever remember your tattoo now.
Okay, you ready for number 3?
I am prepared. Let's do it.
True or false? We bought the house that my wife's mom, aunts, and uncle grew up in.
True or false? So we're assuming this is the house you're living in now, and that you bought it from your wife's mom. It's your wife's mom, aunt, and uncle grew up in it. Okay, I got it. Ooh. I know in some of the conversations we've had leading up that you've mentioned your father-in-law, which would be your wife's dad, coming over to help with stuff, which he maybe just does as because that's what father-in-laws do. But because that's solely what I'm basing this answer on, I'm going to say it's true. And he's coming back to his old, it's your wife's mom, though. It's not him. But I'm still going to go with my gut. I'm going to say that that's true, that you bought the house that your wife's mom, aunts, and uncles grew up in. True.
False. It's the house that her dad and uncles grew up in.
See, literally, right when I said it, I was like, you know what? I should have thought this through more.
Yeah. Your thoughts were headed in the right direction, but
yep.
Yeah, no, it's the house that her grandparents bought, and her dad and uncles grew up in it, and then she lived in it, and then when we got married, we bought the house earlier this year.
Congratulations, man! I mean, that's huge. Buying the house, and you said earlier you said it is a farm, but it's not a functioning farm.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we've got a cow shed, and her dad raised cattle when he was growing up here before he went to college, but we don't do anything on it.
What's in the cow shed?
There's some hay and some old machinery, but that's about it.
I really want to come visit you and play a big giant game of hide and seek, because I have a feeling there are like trillions of places to hide on your property.
Yeah, I mean, we got 5 acres, and a good chunk of that is just pasture. That's just 2.5 foot, 3 foot tall grass right now. So
that's funny. I know it's just grass, but I'm picturing signs. This from this California boy's perspective. I'm picturing the movie Signs, and I want to see alien prints. This is how uneducated I am on farms.
I mean, we do have corn planted in the fields around here right now. So
cool. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. Well, one of these days I'll visit Indiana. I'll eat corn. I'll look for alien symbols in the grass, and I'll play hide and seek with you. We got a plan. So I got that wrong. So I'm only 1 for 3 right now, right?
You are.
I got the siblings question right. I missed the tattoo one, and I missed the question about the house you grew up in. All right. Well, I got some ground to make up.
Next question. How many degrees do I have? 1, 2, 4, or 3?
How many degrees do I have? I really wanted 98 to be one of the answers. 98 degrees. My favorite boy band, for the record. That's not true. They're not my Backstreet Boys are my favorite boy band. How many degrees do I have? Okay, so
college degrees. We're just talking college degrees.
College degrees. Wow. I mean, look, having just 1 college degree is impressive. I'm guessing because this is a question that you have more than 1, unless you're trying to throw me off, which you might be.
You never know.
I know, man. And this is why I'm learning about you. We're all learning about you right now, John. I'm going to guess, how many degrees do I have? I'm going to say 2 degrees.
You're correct.
Yes. Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay, tell me about your degrees, as I'm now 2 for 4 in this quiz.
Yep. The first one was when I was at Manchester. Got a bachelor's in environmental science.
Which is funny, because earlier I said, and you graduated from that college, and I sensed a little bit of hesitation because you didn't want to give it away.
And then a few years ago, I went back to school and got a second bachelor's from Ball State in computer science. So I have 2 bachelors.
Is Ball State close to where you are? Like, did you go in person, or was this online?
No, I was in person. As David Letterman kindly referred to it as the Harvard of the Midwest. It's located in Muncie, so
it's in Muncie, which is your hometown.
Yep, it is.
That was one of the facts that I remembered when John first texted me. I said, "Hey, are you still in Muncie?" And he said yes. And then a few minutes later, he said, "By the way, how the hell did you remember that I lived in Muncie, Indiana?" Well, that's great. 2 degrees. Congratulations. I'm 2 for 4. You finished the quiz 2 for 5, correct?
I did, yeah.
So assuming this is a competition, which I don't know that it really is, but I gotta get one right to beat you, and if I miss it, then we're both total lack of geniuses.
Yeah. Number 5. When did I get married? 2019, 2017, 2010, or 2021?
It's funny because earlier I was gonna just kind of to introduce you, be like, yeah, John's married. When did you get married, by the way? It's a good thing I didn't ask that.
That's true.
Wow. Okay, 2010, which was quite a while back, 2017, 2019, 2021. I happen to know that your wife, Emily, that you haven't been married, I believe you haven't been married a crazy long time, but I don't think you got married this year. So I don't think it's 2021 because we've only got 6 months of there. So it's got to be 2017 or 2019. I'm going to go with 2019. That would be 2 years ago. 2019 is my final answer.
And you're correct.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Oh my gosh. My arms are in the air like I did something incredible when really all I did was guess correctly. Nice, man. So I gave a little bit away, but you've been married to Emily for 2 years now?
1.5. It'll be 2 years in September. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Been kind of crazy, with COVID and everything for the last 1.5 years, but it's not been too bad.
Well, I like that was the last question, just because that's one of the differences between you and I. You're married, you have a son. I'm single and live on my own. I think we have a lot of ground to cover between you and I as far as what we sort of know and what we like to do.
I think so. Yeah, we at least got a few more episodes we can do.
Yeah, exactly. We probably have like 2 to 3 episodes left, and then we'll be like, okay, we covered everything. Then we'll need guests to do that work for us. Yeah, man. John, this was cool. So we did our quiz. Yeah, I got one better than you, but I don't think either of us are geniuses on the other. So let's. I look forward to continue learning about you.
Yeah, maybe we'll do another one about us in a future.
I think that these little quizzes about us can be squeezed in every now and then. It's just a fun way to kind of get to know us better. And as we get listeners, we'll pay attention to what you want. Let us know. We are on the social medias.
Yeah, we got a Facebook page. We got at Facebook we're just at Lack of Genius. On Twitter we are Lack of Genius 1. I'm not sure why the number showed up, but it did. Instagram, I think. Yeah, it's just Lack of Genius Podcast.
Lack of Genius Podcast. That's on Instagram?
Instagram, yeah.
Okay, Lack of Genius Podcast.
If you want to email us, you can at lackofgeniuspodcast@gmail. We are pretty much in any podcast app, and we should hopefully be in the Apple Podcast and all the apps that use that. But when you're on Spotify, Google, Stitcher, Amazon, or you can listen to the podcast at lackofgenius.com.
So for next week, we did not choose a topic yet, so we're going to figure that out. But what I will say is to the listener, you can check out the website starting on Sunday of this coming week. I guess that would be the 27th or 28th. And the quiz, maybe I'm promising too much right now, but the quiz should be up for whatever the next topic is.
Shortly before 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific.
Yep. So you can take it during the week. We will post the episodes on Thursdays. Man, John, I think this is great. I think episode 1 is just about in the book.
Yeah, if you need anything, just reach out to us. Definitely, and if you have any suggestions on topics, definitely let us know.
Yeah, we want to make this fun for you. As we said, we're super grateful to be using this space and that you took part in it. So thanks for taking the time. And John, we'll do this again next week.
Yep, sounds good.
Good job. Even though I'm slightly mad at you for not knowing me as well as I know you, but that I'll get over eventually.
I'll try and be better next time, Kevin.
All right, episode 1 done. See you guys later. It's the Lack of Genius Podcast in your ear holes at last. They don't know they're Mars from Venus, that's why it's the Lack of Genius Podcast.